We live in a time
where everyone
has an opinion about
anything and everything that they come across.
We as the Swahilipots have family.
Believe that it is high time
we get to hear our take.
Swahilipot have to the world. Stay tuned.
Tunaishi katika karne ambayo kila mtu ana maoni,
na sisi kama jamii ya Swahilipot
tuna maoni yetu na tungependa uyasikie.
Swahilipot to the world, stay tuned.
We live in a time where everyone has an opinion about
everything. And I mean everything, I mean everything.
We at the Swahilipot have family.
Believe it's high time you hear our take.
Swahilipot to the world.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Episode of Swahilipot to the world. My name is and first of all, have to say sorry. We were supposed to have 5:30. It's 5:39. Sorry. We had a few technical glitches, but now we're back up and live. So yes, today is our 7th episode, if I'm not wrong, and I let my guest introduce herself, and we'll jump right into our topic. Yes, you want to introduce yourself. I did not just let my guest sit there.
I thought she was going to do the introduction.
No.
My name is Mr. Mami. I'm a certified life coach, and I'm also a family therapist.
Thank you. This is the reason it's right. Because when I was picking out the topic of today, I just sound like, who's the best person to have here? It's like, I text you. You're literally the house mentor when it comes to such topics. So if you saw the post, our topic today is understanding and surviving depression. So yes, first question, in your own words as a life coach who's maybe experienced having a lot of customers and clients who come to you with this problem, define to us what depression is.
Depression is a severe mood disorder whose symptoms can affect your daily activities, such as working, eating, your daily associations and relations to other people in such a way that you are unable to.
It's something really bad and it affects your mentally, which is kind of true. But I feel like once one really knows the definition of depression, it's easy and one is really open to actually get help. And that will take me to my next
was going on marital issues between my parents, ended up neglecting me. So I felt, I went through periods of very long, low periods to the point that I used to cut myself on my thighs, arms, and at that point, no one understood what it was, you know. You know, because people didn't have these things and they didn't really understand what it meant. So I went through that, and I guess for being a resilient person, and for me, to be honest, this period will not end without me mentioning animals. So I just say, I think for me, I was given a cat during that time, a kitten, and it was God sent to me because it sort of was like pet therapy, and it helped me overcome. Like, I did not feel like patting myself as much. I felt like patting my cat and taking care of it. So I transferred a negative need for trying to take out what I was feeling internally to including on something that was positive, like this.
In my case, I don't think because as you say, for me, I feel like you need to be diagnosed by a doctor. Apparently, it's called clinical depression. I would say I only have had low lows, like really low lows, but I never like define it and tell people that I've gone through depression. For me, that wasn't the case. I think it was I didn't go to a doctor and say like I'm going through ABC, is it depression or not, which I've never done. So I usually tell people I don't think I'm a victim of depression, but there are points in my life where I've had really low lows. I couldn't even get myself out of bed. I was like, maybe I was depressed.
It is one of the symptoms of depression. You're unable to do the simplest of daily activities. You don't want to brush your hair, you don't want to brush your teeth, you don't want to get up from bed to bath, you don't want to get dressed. Things that excite you, like let's say your daily meal is 2 eggs with samosas and mesakarari or whatever, and you no longer even feel the need to eat or you overeat. Yeah, so whatever things that usually affect your daily lifestyle, and this could be both emotional and behavioral. Emotional is now how you feel. And the thing is, people tend to assume that depression just suddenly comes up and you're depressed. It creeps on you, like slowly it starts off in you. By the time you actually feel it's overwhelmed you, you know. It starts off small, just like you feel you slept 8 hours but you still feel exhausted. The friends you used to enjoy time with, you like you can't stand being with people, you're shutting down and being around friends, you're irritable, like if you're a sweet person, you're suddenly very irritant, you have bursts of emotions, you cry, you feel everything is overwhelming, you feel like people are being unfair to you, you know, unjust to you, you feel like you're not doing anything right, you feel like you look at others and you feel like, oh, I'm a failure in my life. You see all that brings you to a point of darkness and feel like, I don't feel anything. And the worst part of it is when you reach the point where you feel suicidal, you feel like, I don't need to exist, I think I need to die, why am I alive? Not necessarily why am I existing? You know, I hate being me, I wish I was so and so, I have a better life, you know, such. So yes, it really creeps on you. By the time you think it's happening, it's usually quite a number.
Okay, we have a comment here. It says, I think most of us have experienced symptoms of depression from Chopin. And I think from what you've said, if it affected your daily life, experience in your day-to-day life, that means it's a sign of depression. Does that mean at that point where you just, like, for my case, I didn't feel like waking up I had online classes, I didn't want to attend my online classes. I used to sleep in my mom's living room, not move. When she leaves for work, I would still be there. And if around 4 or 5, I know my mom's a typical African mother, she'll tell you this, whatever you're going through is not supposed to be the reason as to why you're soaking this much. So around 5 p.m. is when I'll just wake up, drug myself, and just literally shower, just sleep, go back to the same place. My online classes, because I was easy, I don't even know how I passed that semester. It was at that point, and I really felt, I'm scared. Personally, from what my experience, I was afraid of that label, of being told you are depressed. So, since we have that fear of label, what is your take? What should you tell the people out there who are going through the symptoms and don't want to be told that they're going through depression?
First, I want to address the symptoms. We have a tendency of, if you're feeling something, it's just a low feeling of life. So you have to go and be told that you are suffering from mild depression, you are suffering from severe depression, you are suffering, you have to go and get the diagnosis. And the first thing you need to do is you go to see a medical doctor. You don't go to a psychologist or psychiatrist, you go to a medical doctor. Because some symptoms that are found in depression could actually be a side effect of medication. It could be also you have a certain illnesses such as thyroid problems, anemia, bulimia, anorexia, a lot of others that because these same underlying symptoms as you would in depression. So you have to go to a you have to explain yourself and say, you don't have to explain yourself, but you have to at least say, I don't feel like talking because I'm a bit emotional. I don't feel like this. Najua hatukuzoea. Mombasa ukisema hivyo utaulizwa maswali 100, But just learn to say that, no, I'm just feeling this, I don't need any more questions. And you can that.
But with leave alone just Mombasa.
Wait, am I talking too much?
No, it's okay. Actually I feel like this is a very educative session, even the ones at home who are watching. I feel like we're all learning. I came here with a completely different notion about how this is going to fall out, but I'm here like literally loading and I'm trying to, I should get a book and take notes at this point. I feel like back to your words, it's more, you're saying Mombasa, it's more African household or even Asian. I feel like those are both African and Asian. In our household, it's very hard just to tell someone, even especially our parents, because most of us live with our parents, and you go like, I am not okay and I don't want to talk about it, or I'm not okay, let me be, let me go in a zone.
Yeah.
Our parents will be more that you're watching too much movies, too much Netflix and all this. How do we calm that? Like how do we live in a time right now where everyone's like, mental health and advocacy is on a high note. Everyone's talking about mental health. But I'm not sure, maybe since you're a life coach and you're certified in all this, in this matter, is it that, do we get more, how do I put this? Are we addressing this mental health issues, depression, anxiety, and the level as it should? Because I feel like everyone's talking about depression, but what exactly are we talking about depression? If you're at home and you feel like we need more, to say more on this before Nusa tells us, let us know in the comment section.
I think we haven't really had the proper awareness of it, because even when we talk about depression, we talk about it in diagnosed yourself, you're taking the medication. So same with this. I'm depressed. She's depressed. Or she's moody. She's depressed. She's this. I think we've misused it to the point that we downplay the actual definition and the importance and the weight of it, so that we haven't learned anything from it. And surprisingly, and these are things I usually tell youth, what do you use the internet for? You know, because we still have misinterpretations of mood disorders and mental health conditions, because you choose not to actually go and do proper research and read upon it and read proper articles and say that I'm learning about this topic. So do we misuse, I'm not a youth, so do you misuse the usage of the internet? Like we are on TikTok to watch videos, we are on Instagram to watch influencers, and what influencers tell you, because even what Nusrat has told you right now, you have to go and back it up with research. So are we doing the proper research? No, we are not doing the proper research. We're not. Have we given it the actual importance that it needs? Because we work on mental health, but are we actually, giving it the focus that it needs? We are not. Yeah, so I think a lot of focus is needed for that.
So more work has to be done. Yeah, we have a comment here that's kind of like eye-catching from someone by the name Gulenza Frank. I think it's a she. Same one, like me here, I'm going through depression, and she has like the crying images. Dear Gulenza Frank out there, kindly reach out to us. If you feel like you need to talk to someone, we will direct you to Nusrat, and maybe you'll get the help that you need. But I feel like no one's supposed to just sit with it. Thank you for actually opening up on our comment sections. And then we have a comment here saying, generally in Africa, depression is good to which when the poster was going around, I have a friend in Nairobi from the same campus as I. She called me, we were just having our usual chat, and she told me, since you're doing the depression talk, there's this notion that goes around, and it's actually something that's happening. Squeezy, when people go for therapy, it's more of whoever wants to go for therapy goes for therapy, but not the people who actually in need of the therapy because of the depression or the anxiety or whatever it is. Which I sat down, and since there's this comment here, general in Africa, depression is dramatic. I feel like we generalize it to me, the rich who go through this.
I think it has more than one meaning. One, it could mean that it is expensive to go and see a psychologist, and so what would I consider moderate or to a poor person? My income does not allow me to go and see a psychologist. So at a moment, because I can't afford it. And then what will I worry about? Putting food on the table, education, going to a job, and being able to sustain myself or sustain the family, or go and sit and talk to someone and tell them I'm feeling this, I'm feeling this. So you kind of like just sahau. So it has two implications of it. The fact that a poor person has no time to consider their mental well-being. They just have time to find a living. They're out there to get a living, and they have no time to sit and worry about what they're going through mentally in their lives, because they cannot afford that luxury. Yeah.
So in this case, most the middle class and the lower class feel like it's a luxury going for therapy, and which is sad. I feel like as a country, maybe we can invest in therapies and have like free sessions for the ones who can't afford. Or maybe an organization can come up and do this for the community. Because I feel like it would have really helped a lot. Not that I'm saying that the high class people don't suffer or the low go through depression and all this, but I feel like it's already tough being in a low class, coming from a low class income family or something like that. And if we get free therapists who will actually do this for them, so we can be better.
I think there are free therapists that actually offer this service, but the problem of anything free is lack of accountability. So you sit down with the therapist and they may not do the due diligence that is required. Now, in my good therapists, even though they were free. So I think there's accountability needs to be put in place. And then we had 6 sub-counties, and each 6 sub-counties we had welfare, social welfare officers. And I think they have that capacity to connect with counselors and offer that service to the low-income people. So I guess it's like I said, there has to be on a small communal basis, and it's organized as such. If that was possible, then we would each individually benefit from the places we come from, where we live.
That's very true. I feel like if now the government and also the county authorities and each, the 6 accounts that we have, and we have welfare, you don't go to cross the animals, you tell you like good time. But yeah, so yeah, I think we all, is it true maybe if I take it, because you talk about animals, you say you will not give discretion about animals here and is a distraction as being most parents. The parents are a bit open-minded about depression, and then they know that you're going through a very low. They kind of find a distraction for you. I remember one time I was distracted by them taking me to work. So I was a month in, whatever happened, and that made me go through that low phase. I was distracted by being taken to work for my dad's house, basically. So I used to work there. So will you recall that distraction? If I may use that word.
It may not necessarily be a distraction, it can be called a coping mechanism. So
That's a word, coping mechanism.
yeah, while you're trying to cope with depression, it does actually help if you occupy yourself. Rather than sitting in your mind, you occupy yourself by doing other things. And I
when you either in 2 ways, either you interact with people who have less than you have, let's say like orphanages, animal shelters, single moms in distress, anything, or you volunteer in schools, you volunteer in nursery schools, primary schools, whatever makes you feel like I am better off than this person, and that way you feel like internally, subconsciously, it makes you feel better and say, look at where I am. I feel like I'm worse, but there's somebody who is more worse than me. So it's actually trying to figure out what is my coping mechanism to get out of this. But now this is for a person who they haven't really gotten to severe depression, but if you've gotten to a point of severe depression, I think the only way possible is for you to seek to go and see a mental health profession. That's it.
Okay, and then say I want to take it a bit on a different direction right now. We come from communities where atasema kwa Kiswahili, ukiwa, like if you tell people or depression, if that's the case at that point, tuambiwa sababu it's cause ni sababu imani yako kwa Mungu iko chini. They always link it to your iman. You're not, your faith in God umepotea, go pray and all this. What's your take on that? Because I feel like personally, if that's the case, we see people who pray 5 times a day, wafunga paka sunna, wafanya kila kitu, but there's that aspect that's lacking, and they just look depressed in real sense. Asoma Quran asubuhi paka jioni, but there's that thing missing. Is it always linked to the way we're being told, your iman, your faith, your tawakkul and all this?
I think they're confusing it being solely linked to your iman. Having an iman definitely does help when you're going through any mental condition. It does really help, the thought that you have, God is there, God will help me through this. But even as you go through that, it does not mean that mentally you will still not go through the issues you go through. If you get malaria, you will still say, la ilaha illallah, Mungu nisaidie, sijui nini, waona wafa. Una malaria tu, lakini wewe waona wafa. But while you say all that, what do you have? You
go to the doctor.
You go to the doctor. Exactly. So why do we assume that when it comes to mental health, we say, God is sufficient, just God by himself, he's sufficient. But when it comes to, you need to go to deliver and you need a C-section, why don't you just say, no, this way is made by God. This baby is just going to come out this way. Why tawakkal then and say, you know what, God will help me through this. Or if you need a hip replacement, if you need, why are we putting on glasses? Let's just say God will fix our eyesight. So yes, of course, you need to put God first because your iman is very important. No matter your religious background, having faith definitely goes in a long way to helping you heal, but it isn't the only way. You still need that medicine that God provided for us, you know.
That's nice. Yeah, we have a comment here from a guy called MC Rex Kenyan, and same, I've been there for 8 years and I walked out victorious. So it's good to know we have a survivor of depression actually streaming live with us. And I don't know if MC Rex, if you're still around, if you're free and you're up to sharing your story of how you survived depression, please comment down below. So yeah, as we move on to the next question, I just want to know, how does one know this isn't right? Me sleeping all day, me skiving online classes, like little skiving online classes, this isn't right. And how am I supposed to know, like, this is now high time, maybe this is depression, I need to address it? I know you've said it's more of once you feel like your day-to-day, you can't do your day-to-day experiences and day-to-day activities in this case, the way you're supposed to do it. So fine, I couldn't do it for 2 weeks, but what was the key thing that will have made me like, maybe this is, I need help? What is the one thing you will advise from your profession?
Wait, what did you say at first?
How does one wow, okay, fine. How does one know this isn't right? Like
no. I think it's not that we don't know it isn't right. We know it isn't right, we just don't care. Like sijisikii kuenuka kitandani, you know, sijisikii kufanya kitu chochote, sijisikii kula, sijisikii I'm not even going to bother with my classes if I flunk, if I pass, who cares? You know, you've given up on life, you've given up on anything that is actively involved in your life, you give it up. Let me tell you, if you're a parent, you even don't care you have kids. Like literally, you're like, you know, it's all about just how you're feeling internally. And it's not that, like I say, it's not that you don't know that it is wrong. You know it is wrong, but you can't help but feel that way. And that is why it's said it is it's a disorder. The feeling of hopelessness, the feeling of worthlessness, the feeling of helplessness, it's there, and you can't get rid of it, you know. And it helps if you're still on the mild stages and you recognize this. You either can reach out, like I said, to a counselor. Not necessarily you need to go direct to a psychologist. You can reach out to a mentor, you can reach out to a counselor, you can reach out to anybody that you feel usually is very non-judgmental and very considerate to you. If not, you can try and change your lifestyle and say, what makes me feel the way I feel? What is it? What are the changes I can make? Sometimes it's friends that make us depressed. It's the peer pressure. Sometimes it's the social media. You know?
I was about to mention that.
Yeah, I mean, friends can really, really make you feel down. By wajua sisi tuna ile bullying. Tufanya bullying in pretense that we don't know that we are bullying.
Ni jokes.
No. We really need to put our foot down on what we accept as jokes, you know, because it can really affect people's self-esteem. You know, it can affect how they view themselves internally. And although people usually take it very lightly and say that, kwani kitu kama hiyo tu imemwaffect, we need to understand how you internalize and translate the world is very different from another person. So what you feel is okay to you may not be okay to another person, and you need to respect that. So I think the lack of the respect of somebody's mental well-being is also very paramount among youth, you know. And there's one thing I need to mention is this thing that's out there right now called realness. You're being real, you know. I think now rudeness and arrogance is being
labeled real.
Yeah, it's been just labeled as real.
I'm being real.
No. You can be real without being condescending, without being rude, without hurting other people's feelings, you know. Kusema ukweli haimaanishi ni kumtolea mwenzako ujeuri, kumtukana, kumtolea maneno, kumkejeli. And sometimes we can't do it in front of other people as well. Just because you feel this other person isn't doing the right is also definitely wrong, you know. So I guess as youth, you have a long way to go in understanding each other's emotions. As much as you are aware of mental health, I don't think you're really consciously taking it in.
Okay, that's very informative. And also, yeah, Tushambiwa, there's a standard of being real. The things we can't say when being real and things we can. There's just a fine line where hatufai kuvuka. And then, as you're answering the question, you said something about mild stage. So is depression in stages? And if it is, tell us the mild stage, the other stages as well.
Yeah, it's definitely in stages, because it begins as just you don't feel like eating, you don't feel like dressing, like what you said. Was the whole day wangalia tu TV. Kidogo you're missing out on your assignments. Kidogo you're missing out on engagements that you have, you know. Yeah. So yaanza hivyo kidogo. And then the next thing, it graduates to you being now irritant, you being your mood changes adversely to the fact that walia sayote, wakasirika, waonewa, you know, kidogo yapanda ile stage to the point you're like I said before, you feel like I'm not worthy of this life. Like kila kitu ninachojaribu kufanya mimi like kila kitu unajaribu kufanya mimi haiwi, kwa nini, you know. And it doesn't help when you have the people around you making it even worse, you know. So yes, it definitely has those stages. Paka mtu kufika kusema kwa maana natamani kujiua, ama even like for me kujikata, you know, it's like ile wasikia ile uchungu ndani, or that anger to the point that you're looking for a way to release it, you know. It's like that. So it definitely does have stages. Yeah.
Okay, maybe as the last question before going on our break, what is the worst case scenario for a depressed person? This is actually a question I was asked by a sister after she saw the topic. She's like, please ask her what is the worst case scenario.
The worst case scenario is feeling this darkness, this hopelessness, this void, and trying to reach out for help and you don't get it. And you feel like the only way I can get out of it is if I die. So suicide is definitely the last resort of a depressed person.
That is the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. I don't think I've ever been there, but I feel like I've known people who have actually got to the point and they just like tell you that maybe they don't say it, maybe just because these days we have memes. People say a lot through memes, and we just sit back in our homes scrolling and laughing, thinking it's a joke, while in real case it's a call for help. It reminds me of a time. I have a friend. Alikuja kanambia, by the way, there's this certain girl on Twitter. She actually killed herself.
Yeah.
And if you go through her Twitter account handle, she was tweeting about it on a daily basis, and people just used to like and scroll by. Yeah. My own friend used to just like and just anapita ju. You just think this is another, because it's out there, everyone's saying I'm depressed, and imefika mahali, even when someone is actually calling for help, we think it's more of, it's just another tweet, it's just another comment, it's just another sentence, amesema, I am depressed.
It's a joke.
It's a joke, as you said. And because we're talking about being real, we are so into this point of we're in this being real, na tunaweza joke around things so much, imefika a point, even when someone is actually being real, we think it's jokes in the terms of the whole label being real.
Yeah.
Which is just, we need to check ourselves, we need to sit ourselves down.
I think there should never be jokes on death. If you are joking about death, I'd not contribute to it. And we shouldn't encourage people on that. And if we should reach out and find out, do you mean this and why? You know, rather than just liking and scrolling, you know. Yeah.
So yes, from Nusrat to Swahilipot, Nusrat, add Swahilipot to the wall. To everyone who's streaming live and everyone who's going to come through this video, Nusrat has said, and we quote her, no jokes on death. So no more memes about suicide, okay?
No.
Just let's leave it to that. If we're being serious about this topic, let it just stick at that. I feel like I'm stalling this conversation until the break. So let's see what people are saying on the comment section as before we break. That's where
bundles.
Yes, of course. Of course, yes. No, I went to the questions and on a different tab, so
Are you on Twitter?
no, on Facebook. You can also check it out on your phone. So yeah, we have DJ Linium Kenya. So, MC Rex, I remember we did an event together and I didn't even realize you were going through depression. This is how serious it is. This is DJ Linium commenting on what MC Rex Kenya had commented. So it is that bad even when your closest of friends and workmates are with you. They can't even see it.
It's not a label. It's not written here.
Yeah, you see, as in, but maybe did. I wish DJ. No, okay. So yeah, DJ Lenam continues saying it's uncomfortable that we never get to know when people are being serious when it comes out as a joke. So yes, we ponder on DJ Lenium's comment as we go on our commercial break. See you right after this.
We live in a time
where everyone
has an opinion about
anything and everything that they come across.
We as the Swahilipots have family.
Believe that it is high time
We get to hear our take.
Swahilipot have to the world. Stay tuned.
Tunaishi katika karne ambayo kila mtu ana maoni,
na sisi kama jamii ya Swahilipot
tuna maoni yetu na tungependa uyasikie.
Swahilipot to the world, stay tuned.
We live in a time where everyone has an opinion about
everything. And I mean everything, I mean everything.
We at the Swahilipot have family.
Believe it's high time you hear our take.
Swahilipot to the world.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
stay tuned.
stay tuned.
hapo.
Okay, and welcome back to the second part of our 7th episode, the second session. Session, it's not session. So
I can't see our faces.
There, we're literally back.
Okay.
So yes, as we start, we have a question that I would really want to ask. It's from Shufa, and she says, what are the weird behaviors people do to hide depression? Signs to spot a friend who is not okay.
Okay. In most instances, if you do not want to be known you're not okay, you are very good at hiding you're not okay. And like I said, when I was 13, when I started inflicting the self-injury, no one in school knew that. I mean, I have marks, wait.
Sasa shida ni we cannot zoom our camera.
No, I'm showing you.
Where?
I have marks on my arms, but
Yeah,
because
true.
I used to have a cat, I used to tell my friends in school that I was scratched by a cat. You know, so for the long time they knew it was cat scratches, and I had scratches on my thighs as well. But of course they couldn't see those scratches, and it took me up until I was I was in my 30s for me to come out and say, this is what I used to do when I was 13. But I went to school, I was fine with my friends, everything was cool, you know. And what I'd like to say is, you can notice behavioral changes, you know. If someone was a very chirpy person, you know, outgoing, and then you find them in the middle of that behavior, suddenly ana ile low, and kidogo atajaribu ajishtukie and mask it back to a normal behavior. But you need to be very, very observant, you know. And in most cases, we are not. You know, we are not observant of each other's behaviors. But if it is very easy to notice if someone is changing from being a very happy-go-lucky to a very like a sad person, or wabadilisha kama kila siku alikuwa ni promptly waje mahali mapema, siku hizi wachelewa. Those are also signs. Ikiwa alikuwa ha binge watch TV, ilikuwa si mambo yake, na suddenly Netflix series zote ni zake yeye, you're like, what's going on? Because you're trying to like run away from your own world and you're fixing yourself in another world, you know. So you notice all these tiny behaviors. Now, by the way, watu kama hawa, they're very good at making up stories. They'd be like, no, siku hizi hivi, no, you know, but yeah, but try and like follow it up and figure out why is this person the way they are now. Kisha pia you can make very subtle subtle counseling, you know. If somebody useme kama ni wewe pia you're feeling like that, like when I feel down, I really like talking to so and so. She's very good, or he's very good at listening to a person ama nini. Or there's this link, wamtumia mtu link ya motivation, wamtumia mtu link ya nini. You know, there's so many things now with the internet that we can do for each other if you suspect someone is going through something. You know, there's a lot you can do. So in most cases, you can't tell a person is depressed or anything, and that is why I'm encouraging on people to be kind to each other, not to make assumptions. And I said this today, if the first thing that comes to your mind about another person is negative, and you label their behavior, the one behavior, you label them and identify them as a person hiyo. Kama mtu ni kimya ama ni moody, useme yule naye huwa yuko hivi. No, that does not define a person's identity. Say, huyo mtu ana tabia hii, how can we help na tabia hii? Not that define yule mtu tayari kwamba ni yeye ni ile behavior yake. We have that problem as well. So once we stop that, and once we stop the subtle bullying of somebody's hair, somebody's weight, somebody's face, somebody's financial status, somebody's bubu hilo ubadilishi, bubu hilo kila siku wewe. You know, ama t-shirt hiyo una t-shirt nyingine. You know, such things. Or you can't afford this, I can afford this. All this subtle bullying that we do to each other, I think we can go a long way in helping people overcome the things that they go through.
When you're talking about like we should be conscious of what we do and say, it's reminded me of, I think it's the youth. There was a time we had this youth cause session here at the hub, and Miss Sakina. Yeah. Sakina told us about a kid. After COVID, kids went back to school. January school is imefunguliwa, watoto wakarudi skuli. And there was this girl who went to school, and the teacher is like, it's like during the lesson and everything, and because of COVID, obviously she had added a bit of weight. And then akasema, the kid asked if she can get something to eat. And the teacher akamwambia,
akamwambia
yeah,
something like
yeah,
you're already fat.
You're already fat and all
Yeah.
this, and you still want to eat and all this. No, it's that kind of. It's a kid, and this is a teacher. You expect better from a teacher, from with all this that's out there, with everything that's happening, and the way the teacher say that. I just want to know: is there a way as a community? Maybe that's just her. That's a kid, and that's the one instance because of COVID. But even before COVID and everything, we had there was a story of a student, a girl, I think in class 5, I don't remember which county it was. She got her periods for the first time in class, and she messed her uniform. Instead of the teacher being kind and telling her what to do, I think Alim Chongo or something, just like, she literally made the girl feel so bad, the girl killed herself. Alenda kajinyonga. So what can we do as a community to be, a bit kinder to people, because we just don't know what they're going through. Maybe it's mental health illness. Obviously, there's something wrong. They're not mentally fit, and we are out here making a joke, making a mockery, and then I feel like squeezy. We don't have. It's not kama zamani. Mtu depression ugonjwa ya matajiri ama depression ni kitu yenye only watu wazee wapitia. Kids are going through these things and they don't even know. At least see, we have a bit of knowledge. Wale hawajui. So what can we do as a community to be a bit kinder or safer? I don't know, something along those lines.
I think communities are built on families. So it starts at home. You start at home on how you address it with your parents, how your parents address it to you, how you address it to your siblings. Sababu tuzungumza bullying ya skuli, lakini nyumbani pia you get parents that bully their kids, you get siblings, older siblings bullying the younger ones. Nyi maichukulia ni kama ni kitu cha kawaida ama ni maidharau, lakini squeezy, it's different. People really carry it in, like what a teacher, because we look up to our teachers, what a teacher would tell you really affects you. I mean, kama sisi tuko coast, schooling most of the time tuko tukiambiwa, mimi nasoma schooling nilipokuwa form 1 naambiwa, nyinyi Waarabu mnaanza mko 30 ngojea kifika form 2 mshabakia 15. Mtakwenda kuolewa tu. There's no need of me teaching you in this class. Nyinyi Waswahili you don't hamutaki kusoma. Already that is demoralizing us from even studying. And each time we see the teacher, we see somebody who will not give us any knowledge, but mtu ambaye amekuja kutukejeli pale mahali. So I think we need to talk. Just like any awareness is driven more by conversations. Tuzungumze nyumbani, tuzungumze tukiwa na wenzetu, tuzungumze in avenues such as this. We keep reiterating it. They say that practice makes perfection, yeah? So the more we talk about it in a positive manner, the more we create that awareness, the more we defend people, like we see bullying and we defend it. Be it at home, be it in institutions, anywhere, and you defend it. And it goes in a long way to changing society mindsets. And another thing is building resilience. I have girls, my kids are girls, but they are very fierce in their approach. Miwambia kila siku sitaki mtoto usizubai hii si dunia kuzubaa, kazana mama. But I also know that no one defines you. You define yourself. There's that resilience that you build such that what Fatma tells you, what Abdullah tells you, what whoever tells you comes and hits a certain wall. It doesn't really reach you. And you say, huyu mtu yuko hivi kwa sababu zake yeye. Not really because of me and who I am. And this person has no right to define who I am or what I am about. And that feeling that even if ni mwalimu, kwamba huyu mwalimu as an adult pia yuweza kuwa na makosa. You see, we instill that kwamba adults have no mistakes. Adults are not wrong.
That's the community we grew up
Exactly. With. But they can be wrong because they're people. They're people. Mimi nikaenda hospitali and I literally task the doctor. Unifanya test ya nini na nini na hii? Wajua mimi nyumbani nala hivi, lifestyle yangu iko hivi ni. It is because that is a human being next to me. I'm not going to God for the medical assistance. I'm going through a channel which is a human being. So just because ansoma doesn't necessarily mean atakuwa 100%. No human being is 100%. So I will ask you questions because at the end of the day you're playing with my body. So same with what happens to us in our lives. Guys, to avoid depression, it starts with stresses in your life. Stresses with your peers, stresses with your parents, stresses with your kids, your entire social life, and you just have to put your foot down and demand it. You have one life to live. I sing this all the time. You have one life to live, and demand that you're able to live it the best of yourself and at no one else's expense negatively.
Okay, I have a last question before today's episode.
Bado
Ishi.
tu.
No, just
question.
one last question. We kind of talked about it during the break. So, what's your take on the people who use their lows, not depression in this case, just their lows, their lows, to get attention? Because there are people out there, and as I was telling you, it's a case of she's a friend of mine, and she's married, and she's using this on her husband. Because the husband is that very caring person, akisikia mtu is going through something, maskini, what can we do to help? So she takes advantage of that, and I say, she uses that to her benefit. So she uses that to get attention. What's your message?
Okay, I'm going to ask: is the husband upset by it?
Upset?
Yeah. That he's being used for it.
Because you know that's the issue.
I'm so poor.
Hangali show, basi. Hopefully I
think, okay, it is bad if you are actually harming the other person. It's actually madhambi jamani, manake utakuwa wamdanganya yule mwenzako to get away with whatever it is you're getting away. So on a religious perspective, it is it's a sin to do that. On a relationship perspective, you're actually being a liar right now. So your relationship, your husband and you are based on trust, and right now you are breaking that trust. So it is absolutely wrong to do that. And in fact, you can continuously do that to a point that it actually happens to you. You know, when you cry wolf too many times, you know, and then it actually happens to you. But in essence, it's all about trust. So doing that is really just breaking somebody's trust, and it's absolutely wrong.
Okay, so that is wrong. So you're hearing this. I'm sure you're going to watch this because you asked me. Because she knows she's not going through anything, but there's this kick she gets. He's caring today. He's extra caring. You know, it's just
maybe if she doesn't do that, he's not caring. Maybe.
I'm not sure.
I'm
not sure.
So if she's using it as a strategy and it's working for them both, but
stop. Stop encouraging it.
Sorry. But if she's misusing him and he's getting upset, worried, and all that, it's unfair because this is somebody you supposedly love, and you're putting them through a torturous process just so you can get a kick out of it. It is absolutely wrong.
Okay. Yeah. So we have Paul Tito in the comment section, and he's saying, "I remember drowning in depression and nobody knew. Thank God for better days." Tito, thank you so much for coming out and saying you've gone through depression. We, as the Swahilipot, have family. Our doors are open. If you want to talk to anyone, or even Nusrat, kindly reach out to us and we will direct you to her, and she's going to help you. And we'll help you in every way that we can. Thank you so much again for reaching out. So I'll just jump straight into the upcoming events because Nusrat is like, hey, this topic is really long. So I believe it's a very educative session where we've learned a lot. I have personally learned a lot. And so for the upcoming events, if you guys want a part 2 of this, by the way, you can just let us know and we'll bring Nusrat here. I believe she'll make time for us, and we will...
I think it would be interesting if we can have maybe a male and a female that's gone through some sort of depression, different kind of depression.
Yeah, we can have, that's nice. We will talk. You can, if you want to be, if you're a survivor and you want to be here, let us know. We will definitely get back to you. And as Nusrat said, you'll be part of our panelist, inshallah, next time. Hopefully it's not next week, but the other week after that. Okay. Or even next week if you guys reach out and if you want a session. So straight up to our upcoming events. As we know, we have Kisco program that happens every evening from 4 p.m. at the Hub. For more information about the classes, you can come to the Hub or text us on our social media platforms, and we'll keep you posted on the intakes. We're actually having an intake, and we have a poster going around, so just check out on our social media pages and you will see what we have on Kisco programs. Tomorrow, the Thursday, the 18th, we're having Business Law Clinic, and our topic will be business registration in Kenya. It will be from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. here at the hall of Swahilipot Hub, and it is a hybrid event. So we'll have entrepreneurs both physically, and we will have others who will be streaming live from our Facebook page, obviously. And I believe we have a registration ongoing, so follow the social media platforms for more information about the business law clinic. On Friday the 19th, we have 2 events, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. we have period talk by the famous period man, Mr. Atito. And then from 5 to 6 p.m. we have Friday poetry. And this theme on Friday, the theme of Friday poetry is Hatua. Hatua, you've seen the poster, it's a shoe, it's what is it? The step. Wow, okay, the step. And it's literally Hatua, just Friday poetry, and it's more of an initiative we're doing for the girl child, and the entry is a packet of sanitary towels, which will later on be given, to the girls who are in need. I don't know how that's going to be done, but they're going to give out the sanitary pads collected to the girls who are in need in the community. On Saturday the 20th, we're having yoga sessions. As usual, we have 2 yoga sessions, but there is a different timing in this one. The first one will start at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. and the second one will start at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then we have Sunday the 21st, we have Costo happening, Sauti ya Pwani, from 4 p.m. It's a very poetic session for poets and spoken word artists. Please tune in. And we have Swahilipot Bootcamp. Registration is ongoing. Visit our pages for more information on this. And then we also have the Mombasa Circular Economy Hackathon, which is going to take place in April 9th and 10th, but the registration is currently ongoing. So if you're really into hackathons and you want to participate in this, kindly visit our social media pages where you will register for that. So yeah, thank you everyone, and have a great evening. Bye.